Welcome everybody to the Wake Up Call channel. Well, they're openly admitting that billions of humans are going to die. They're just not telling you exactly why, of course. So we might as well just blame it on the climate, right? Now, I've covered this in the past, very recently actually, about the human extinction, the next mass human extinction that's taking place. There's tons of predictive programming out there from 60 Minutes that I'll show you later in the video. Many places talking about how humans are going to go extinct. And of course, they're going to blame it on the climate because they can get away with it. They aren't going to blame it on any type of poison that people are willingly going and lining up to take. They aren't going to blame it on that. They aren't going to blame it on all the chemicals they're dousing all of us with on a day-to-day basis in our food, in the air, etc., the quality of air. They're not going to blame it on the hurricanes and the weaponized weather that they're starting to wipe people out with. No. It's because there's a 2-degree Celsius rise in global temperatures, and that's leading to 1 billion human deaths. So be ready. You might die tomorrow. It's going to be 5 degrees hotter tomorrow, wherever you are. So you might just croak from it. So don't be surprised. Don't ask questions. It's the climate, right? It's not a certain poison you may have or a certain shedding that may have occurred that poisoned your own body from somebody else's. No, it's the climate. So if global temperatures reach 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels by 2100, like we'll be here then, it could lead to the 1 billion deaths. A new study has found researchers add that the richest humans would mostly be responsible for the climate change related deaths of mostly poor people. Has any truth ever, that is the most truthful statement I've ever read in an article. Let me just reread that. Researchers add that the richest humans would be responsible for the climate change related deaths. Amen to that. That's right, because the richest people are the ones who are killing all of us. The richest people are the ones who are poisoning all of us. And no, it's not because of their planes giving out carbon emissions. No, it's because they're tricking you and lying to you every day on the television set, telling you to do things that are not good for your body or for you or for your brain, your mental health, etc. In fact, they're actually giving you free poison and telling you to go take it. And they're going to give it to you because they're such great people. And people are doing it. I can't go into more detail about that, but I think we all know what I'm talking about, right? So the richest people are responsible for it. Oh, right, because they're flying around in their jets and they're doing all these things. Isn't it amazing? That is so truthful. So in 2020, a report found that climate change could displace 1 billion people by 2050. This is a lot worse. The study published in the Energy's Journal said that the oil and gas industry, which includes many of the most profitable and powerful businesses in the world, are both directly and indirectly responsible for over 40% of global emissions, affecting billions of people living in the world's most remote and low-resource communities. And of course, we see these climate enthusiasts, they're constantly talking about shutting down big business. Isn't it amazing that all these big businesses and, they're all really just owned by the same people? Right? And they're like, we got to shut down Exxon because of gas, but we could have, this other company that does lithium batteries and electric things. That's perfectly fine, even though we're not going to think about carbon emissions from making lithium batteries and what that might do, or the fact that lithium batteries explode when they get wet. So when you're driving an electric vehicle and it blows up, we'll never report it on the news because we don't want you to realize what's really happening, right? So it's amazing that people buy into this. What's even more amazing is that they use propaganda like this so that they can get you away from oil and gas, right? So they blame oil and gas, say we have to get off this so we can get enslaved more. But the reality of it is people are dying, millions are dying, billions are dying, because a lot of people willingly did certain things to themselves and continue to do so. But again, dumbed down time period, these people look up and worship the rich, right? How much programming is out there about how we should all strive to be rich? How we all, Cribs, remember that show? Look what they have. Oh, they have 5 cars. Oh, they have 6 golden toilets. Oh, wow, that's so great. Who gives a rat's you know what? Well, these people do, and that's why we're in the predicament we're in. You can blame them. But unfortunately, we're all in this together. Just these people actually think that they're the people who are causing the problems are actually going to be the ones that help with the problem. In reality, it's problem, reaction, solution. They're creating the problem. We're reacting to the problem, and they're coming in with the solution. But what we need to do is not react to their problem. In fact, we need to make sure that they stop causing problems. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be happening. So this mass extinction thing has been a narrative they've been talking about for quite some time. And they want you to be prepared for a mass extinction so they can blame it on the climate. Even 60 Minutes and the World Economic Forum have let us know that people are going to die because it's 2 degrees hotter.
In what year will the human population grow too large for the Earth to sustain? In 1970, the planet's 3.5 billion people were sustainable. Today, wild plants and animals are running out of places to live. The scientists you're about to meet say the Earth is suffering a crisis of mass extinction on a scale unseen since the dinosaurs.
Too many people, too much consumption, and growth mania.
You seem to be saying that humanity is not sustainable.
Well, humanity is not sustainable. To maintain our lifestyle, yours and mine, basically, for the entire planet, you'd need 5 more Earths. Not clear where they're going to come from. Humanity is very busily sitting on a limb that we're sawing off.
When the population bomb came out, you were described as an alarmist.
I was alarmed. I am still alarmed. All of my colleagues are alarmed.
The alarm Ehrlich sounded in '68 warned that overpopulation would trigger widespread famine.
Rate of extinction is extraordinarily high now and getting higher all the time.
I don't think you'll find a scientist that will say we're not in an extinction crisis.
Today's rate of extinction is up to 100 times faster than is typical in the nearly 4 billion year history of life. These peaks represent the few times that life collapsed globally, and the last was the dinosaurs, 66 million years ago.
There are 5 times in Earth's history where we had mass extinctions. And by mass extinctions, I mean at least 75%, 3/4 of the known species disappearing from the face of the Earth. Now we're witnessing what a lot of people are calling the 6th mass extinction, where the same thing could happen on our watch.
I and the vast majority of my colleagues think we've had it, that the next few decades will be the end of the kind of civilization we're used to.
The 5 mass extinctions of the ancient past were caused by natural calamities. Today, if the science is right, humanity may have to survive a 6th mass extinction in a world of its own making.
Our generation has reached a turning point, confronted by truly existential problems: climate change, exploitation of nature, nuclear, possible incidents, or even wars, extreme poverty, and viruses. They all can lead to an extinction of large parts of our global population.
Dear friends, scientifically, this is not a climate crisis. We are now facing something deeper: mass extinction, air pollution, undermining ecosystem functions, really putting humanity's future at risk. This is a planetary crisis.
This is a safety crisis, but above all, it is also a justice crisis. Many areas in the world are uninhabitable. This uninhabitable zone is increasing. If we continue with our greenhouse gas emissions, then by 2070, as many as 3 billion people will live in uninhabitable zones.
So that's all there is to it. All you need to do is hear Claus and these people talk about climate-related deaths. I mean, it's pretty incredible, right? 2 degrees Celsius. I'm not talking 200 degrees Celsius. I'm not talking like the guy in Indiana Jones that just melted to the ground, okay? We're talking about a minimal amount of degrees. This is like turning your thermometer from 72 degrees to 76 degrees. And they're telling us it's going to cause billions, not millions of deaths, all while we know people are voluntarily responsible for a lot of these deaths that are occurring because they're doing it to themselves. Or people are literally walking in to their local pharmacy, their local Walgreens, and they're pretty much willingly putting something in their bodies that's going to end up offing themselves. So these articles are out there about if you take scientific consensus of the 1,000-ton rule seriously, whatever this is, and run the numbers, Anthropogenic global warming equates to 1 billion premature dead bodies over the next century. Obviously, we have to act, and we have to act fast. Well, of course we do. So how do we act? Well, we get rid of farming, we get rid of the sun, we stop breathing, of course, because carbon dioxide coming out of our mouth. So we got to make sure none of us breathe. We put masks on, right? We cut down trees, the things that could suck in carbon dioxide, so we can make sure all the carbon goes underground. We stay in our homes. We get rid of our cars so we can drive controlled electric vehicles. All these things, we got to act fast. So in other words, they need to enslave us fast. Why fast? Well, because when people realize what's happening, they're going to rise up against this quick. And these people will not be able to hide in their caves, their underground bunkers, or in the mountains. They might have military protection, but there's more of us than them, right? So they know they need to act fast. That's why you hear Agenda 2030 getting ramped up to 2025. It's ramped up to 2025, and they have to act fast because they know that they need to get this in place now before people realize what's happening. So the quicker they do it, then people are just going to wake up, but it's going to be too late, like I've been mentioning over and over, and they're going to go, hey, wait a minute, what happened? Hey, I want to go see grandma. I can't get out of my home. Hello, is anybody out there listening? Is the AI listening? Can you unlock my door, please? And the AI goes, F you. And they go, what? You're supposed to love me and take care of me. Oh, yeah, you've been duped by Big Brother. Like the TV show, you know, Big Brother with the camera. Yeah, oh. Well, can I go play video games? No, your carbon emissions. Video games? Yeah, video. Oh, wait a minute. I don't like this anymore. You're taking away my video games and my phone? Yep. They sure are, although we know they'll never take away their phones, right? But they'll have limited recess with their video games, of course, to push propaganda too. But they don't want people at all, obviously, going out and interacting with other people. So they'll probably let them play video games more so than not. And then those people will still be happy, even though that they, can't eat, don't have water, they have to go to Big Brother for. They'll still be happy because there's no planet B, ladies and gentlemen. There's no planet B, right? There's no planet B, but there is planet BS, and that's what we're living in right now. So under the 2015 Paris Agreement, global governments pledged to limit average temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and keep them well below the 2 degrees Celsius mark, of course. And of course, the reason that they choose something like 2 degrees and not 20 degrees is that it's something where people will be like, it doesn't feel 20 degrees hotter because they can't necessarily on cue make it 20 degrees hotter every single day or 20 degrees colder every single. So it's something minimal that you wouldn't even notice it, right? So when you don't notice it, you just get it told to you, then you just believe it. Otherwise, they'd be like, hey, it's 160 degrees, 60 degrees today outside in every place in America. And everybody went outside. They're like, feels like 70 degrees. Feels like 80. Doesn't feel like 160. Wouldn't I be melting? Well, then people would realize it's bullcrap. So 2 degrees, then they tell you all these things that wouldn't make sense are actually occurring. And then you see all these hurricanes and stuff, and people are like, oh, well, look, there's hurricanes, so the waters are warming. Oh, well, they're the ones creating the hurricanes and all this stuff with their technology, their HARP technology, their weaponized weather technology, Yeah, see, you have to do it like this. You have to do it very minuscule number, like 2 degrees Celsius, where people are like, oh, that doesn't sound like a lot. And they're like, no, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. And they're like, oh, it is? Okay. Yeah, that whole 2 degrees is going to make a polar bear flip over and croak because the ice capsule he's on is going to melt into the water. Oh, crap. They're like, you won't notice the difference, but everything else in nature will. Oh, it must be real then. Because remember, there's no planet B. Yeah. Unbelievable. So, at the current rates, the world will emit around 1,356 million tons of CO2 by 2100. That means even if we all stop emissions from non-food sectors, energy, and industry, food emissions alone will surpass 1.5 degrees Celsius carbon budget. And then it goes on to say, and have a 67% chance of staying below 2 degrees Celsius temperature, rise above pre-industrial levels. We can only emit 49 billion tons of CO2 from all non-food sectors. So again, mentioning the food and how we need to get our food, the carbon food emissions down is another way of saying, let the government take control of the food supply. We can't grow food. We can't have meat. I mean, it's amazing. Can anyone not see this? Hi. I mean, I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, I understand how dumb people are, but how dumb do you have to be? Like, shouldn't even the dumbest of people be able to get this? 2 degrees more Celsius. And suddenly we need to kill all the cattle. We need to stop living the way we're living. We all need to stay inside. Nobody sees how this is an enslavement agenda. Nobody sees how they've been telling us about mass extinctions all at the same time period, conveniently, that people are willingly poisoning themselves, right? Yeah, I don't know if they correlate with one another. There's going to be a lot of billions of people dying. Oh, they need something to blame it on, because somebody's going to notice when both their parents are dead in their bed. And then they go, well, it's climate change. We don't need to do a biopsy. Oh, it's the biopsy. The biopsy says climate change. Oh, it does? How do you know? Well, his balls were about 2 degrees hotter Celsius, so his whole body just combusted. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Uncle Frank. We'll miss you. Love you, Uncle Frank. Right? I mean, hi. This is common sense speaking. Everything they're doing is what they call a work. It's really psychological abuse. They're preparing you for mass extinction. They're telling you mass extinction is going to happen. Then it happens. And then what do you blame it on? You blame it on the climate. That way you never blame it on a mass poisoning, right? You just blame it on 2 degrees Celsius is the reason that somebody got a brain Alzheimer's. Oh, did you know that the climate is causing so-and-so's brain to get a tumor because it's 2 degrees hotter? You'll hear all this propaganda. All the same symptoms of things that people have suddenly had happen to them, right? Spike in Alzheimer's, spikes in Parkinson's, all stuff I'll cover over on the website, and I have covered for years over on uprisingrevival.com. If you want to learn more about it, learn about it there. But I think you know what I'm correlating at here, right? As to what they're blaming it on when it's really something else, and a lot of other things being factored in. But sooner or later, obviously, this has been something that's been documented over the last year. They're coming out and saying, is climate change causing the flu? Is climate change causing this? Is climate change causing diarrhea? Is climate change causing you to have a bloody nose? Is climate change causing you to have brain tumors? Is climate change causing you to forget things, right? Just like over in Maui, right? What was it called? Brain freeze or dead brain? They're blaming, oh, did you know that people over there are having mental health problems from the fire? They're thinking all these things happened when they didn't. It was just a wildfire. Oh, okay, how convenient, right? So blame it on the climate, folks, because there's no planet B. They're just trying to depopulate. I mean, all these people have openly talked about this issue with how many people we have here, right? And we need to get rid of them. Pretty much, that's the equivalent of like listening to Gates, Ted Turner, all these guys openly talk about how we need to get population control, get the number down, the Georgia Guidestones, et cetera, right? It's the equivalent of somebody coming on TV going, I am going to murder all these people at this specific place on this specific day. And then us going, oh yeah, let him walk free, right? Who cares that he just said that? That would never happen, right? If Ted Bundy came on TV or Dahmer was on TV before and he's like, yeah, I'm going to just let everybody know, or the kids at the school in Colorado, I can't say it because the algorithm, but the column, right? They came on TV before and they're like, we're doing this tomorrow at noon, okay? Just letting you know. People would be like, well, we got to stop it. We got to do something. These people come out and they're like, we need to get rid of people. The problem with the world is people. There's too many people. Yet everybody who's driven across the country sees how much open land there is. There's too many people. We got to get rid of them. And nobody goes, yeah, we should probably arrest these people. Because they're saying they want to get rid of the population. They're not saying they want to get rid of Doug up the street. They want to get rid of all humans. So being that we're humans, maybe we should stop these psychopaths, right? No, they can openly say that. Then when all these things happen, that have been happening, they're the face of it, right? Bill Gates, the face of the climate agenda. Bill Gates, the face of the magic potions. Boy, wants to block the sun, wants to carbon vacuum, et cetera, wants to get chips in you. I mean, pretty amazing, right? These people should be arrested. They would be if somebody came out and flat out said that they wanted to, commit a specific crime at a specific time at a specific place. Well, they're pretty much telling you that, because their faces are in front of all these events that keep happening. So it's the equivalent of saying, I'm going to commit this crime on this day at this place, while they show up saying, we want to depopulate, and then coming out and being like, hey, go get this. Hey, go take that. Hey, we got to do something about cows and about food and about all these things. We got to stop it from happening. Oh, they're telling you that they're going to kill you, and they're taking credit for it, and they're getting nothing is happening to them. Nothing is happening to them. So, folks, get ready for the mass extinction. It's us that they're going to extinct. That's what the climate agenda is. And of course, blaming every single thing that they do on the climate, because then you can't question it. I thank everyone who is here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you, as always, and your families.